Right, this is the first question, and you've got two of these phylogenetic trees. In fact, that's the answer to the first question, asking you what sort of diagram it is. So this is phylogenetic tree. Or you could possibly say phylogenetic tree, possibly evolutionary tree or cladogram. And two different sets of theories. And in part B, we've got a set of differences in nucleotide sequences, so differences in DNA sequences for a protein, and we're not really worried which protein it is, casein in milk. And you're asked to choose between these two, and let's see where our cetaceans are. So, which are our cetaceans? Three suborders, which include sperm whales and dolphins. So, sperm whale and dolphin. Sperm whale and dolphin there. So, we can just have a look at our two groupings here. It's easier to look at B really because it's got a group with the hippo there. So one interesting thing to look at will be how many differences are there between the cetacean and the hippo, whereas over here we've got hippo quite far away, so you'd expect lots of differences in the hippo and maybe big differences with everything really. So if we have a look at the hippo and the dolphin, so we've got the dolphin going across, the sperm whale, where's our hippo? Is there. Okay, so we're looking for a crossover between dolphin and hippo. So a crossover will be there. Sperm whale with a hippo there, and actually the other whale is here. So our differences between the hippo and the whale, kind of depending on which one you look at, 4 or 3 or 3. So not many differences, certainly when you look down here at big numbers of differences in nucleotides. So they appear to be very closely related there, whereas you wouldn't expect just a few differences between these if they were all the way over there. So we're going for diagram B. And the currently accepted theory regarding the closest living relative to the cetaceans. So we're going for hippo is the closest living relative. So hippo closest relative. Or from this diagram, you're probably quite used to saying most recent common ancestor. Most recent common ancestor. And why? Because it wants us to use the information in the table. Why? Because there's only 3 or 4 differences depending on which one you choose. So only 4 or 3 differences. In nucleotides. And then this is really just a theory point. Modern taxonomic classification has decided one thing, but this illustrates the tentative nature of biological classification. So the fact that these change from time to time, scientists argue from time to time as which groupings to put them in. And it all depends on new evidence that becomes available. For example, this nucleotide evidence. So classification might change. So it's not fixed. And why? Because more information, more knowledge, more techniques become available. So more information, such as DNA fingerprinting, nucleotides, sequencing, amino acid order analysis, and so on. More information becomes available. Both the bottlenose dolphin and the killer whale belong to a smaller group than the suborder. So you just need to decide which group this is. So you've got your kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So suborder, well, that would be a slightly smaller order. What's the smaller one than that? Family. So it's just going, do you know your order, or your hierarchical order? Then we have a table and a graph, and all sorts of strange, horrible words here, and a lot of data and lines to look at. So you need to get used to looking at those. Describe the effect of latitude. And so latitude is our axis there on the bottom, on the number of species with small ondotocetes, whatever they are, dolphins, from the Antarctic Circle to the tropics. So just from the Antarctic Circle to the tropics. So we're going from there to there. Okay, and on this diagram, latitude, well, anything at the poles has a high latitude. So this is high latitude, this also is high latitude across here, and this is low latitude. So the question is going, describe this group, small odontocetes, which is two big, well, on this is big dashes, so it is big dashes from the South Pole to the tropics. So we're going up, there's a bit of a peak, and then it kind of levels off. So that's what we're trying to describe. So it increases generally from the Antarctic to the tropics. So there's a general increase. So increase from Antarctic to the tropics. That'll get your general first mark. You could possibly say as latitude decreases, numbers increase. If you talked about the Arctic, you were about 7,000 miles away. And the second mark is just saying it kind of levels off, or there's a peak and it levels off. So slight decrease in the tropics or levels off. So levels off or slight decrease in the tropics. State the environmental factor that's most likely to explain the distribution. So going from the South Pole to the equator, what's the big thing that changes? Well, it's got to be temperature, hasn't it? So temperature. that might affect all sorts of other stuff as well, like food availability. So you could actually say food availability here, but not, always necessarily, and you can't really say that from this information. But temperature is certainly a factor. Why is the curve for all marine mammal species described as bimodal? So that is all marine, a solid line. So it's going up there, down and up down there. So it's got two peaks. So, and these are numbers of species, so that is the mode. So do you know what the mode is? And it's got kind of two peaks in the mode. So 2 peaks or 2 modes.